The roleplay station. It's probably one of the most feared stations because literally anything can happen. They bring in a drama student or an actor or a professional actor to sit there with you when you're most nervous in an MMI and basically act out a random scenario where they could get angry at you, they could start crying, they could literally not talk to you for the entire station, and it's really important that you understand how to deal with this scenario. So in this video, we're going to do a mock roleplay. Now I'm not going to be an actor because I can't see you or talk to you in real time, but I will run you through 3 different scenarios. I'll give you the opportunity to pause the video and then come up with your own way of dealing with it, and then we'll talk through exactly what you should do and why. If that sounds like a good idea to you, let's get straight into the video. Awesome, so I'm a 4th year med student, and believe me, when I did my MMIs, I hated the roleplay station. So you are not alone, everyone hates the roleplay station. Let me just say that first. But we're gonna go through 3 scenarios today that I've come up with, and I think represent different kind of things, and hopefully you'll find them relatively useful. Let's not waste any more time, let's get straight into scenario 1. You are a captain of a football team and are losing a cup final 3-1. One of your players is clearly not cooperating with the team. How would you handle the situation and ensure the team's victory? Okay, so this is a scenario that can be applied anywhere, not just on a football pitch, but also in a shop team or in a healthcare team. Essentially, one of the team members is slacking and is not carrying their weight, and you're the leader. So obviously in real life, you might do something completely different, but what's good in the MMI is to not talk about what you kind of really do, and to think about what you should be doing instead. Ideally, when you're in these scenarios, the first thing you want to do is understand why the team member is not cooperating, and you want to do this in a sensitive manner. So you'd want to take them to the side, and in this scenario, you'd get your teammate, pull them to the side, maybe off the pitch, on the sidelines, and chat to him for a bit. You know, find out what's going on, see if he thinks that he's underperforming, or whether he genuinely thinks he's playing well. You know, see what's going on behind the scenes. Is there something that's causing him to play a little bit off? And most importantly, listen to his concerns. He's probably going to have a lot to rant at you. He might even start shouting at you or be upset at why you've called him out. But the key thing is that you listen to him. Don't say too much in the first minute. Just ask open questions. You know, what's going on? I'm sorry to hear that. How do you think we can help? You know, you don't need to have an expert football knowledge at all. You can ask random questions here, but the key thing here is just to be open in the first minute. And then after that, you want to see if there's anything you can do to help him improve. So you want to phrase these things in a positive manner and offer up solutions. So can we maybe take you off for a few minutes and let you get your head together? Or maybe do you want to play somewhere else? Or maybe is there something that we can do to help support you and to help you get this team turned around? That's the key thing that you need to say. You want to help the person who's struggling at the end of the day and not be working against them. So that is what I'd say, and I'll leave the answer on the screen. That's kind of down the lines I'd go. If there's something you disagree with, you can say so, but I think that's something along the lines of what you should say in this scenario. Cool, so let's do scenario 2. You're a customer service representative dealing with an irate and upset customer who is dissatisfied with the product. How would you handle the situation and work towards a resolution? Okay, so this is very common, and believe it or not, this actually came up in my MMI. So I think mine was something along the lines of I was a hotel receptionist, and one of the people who was staying in the hotel, there was a problem with the booking, and their room was not booked when they turned up. So I had to handle that situation. For these kind of things, the first thing you want to do is apologize. So you want to let the patient rant at you, and you want to apologize and take responsibility. So it doesn't matter who you are, if you've made a mistake or if someone on your behalf has made a mistake, or if the company you're working for has made a mistake, take responsibility and apologize. The worst thing you can do is try and argue that this is somehow not your mistake. So take responsibility and apologize. Second of all, you want to listen to the concerns and fully understand what's gone on. So ask the person here to take you through exactly what's happened. What has been the issue, you know, when this started, how long it's been happening for, and get a full gauge of the picture. Sort of apologize not only for the mistake, but the ramifications it's had, you know? So if this is a product, apologize for the effect it's had. You know, they were probably expecting a product to be working for maybe their own business. If they start crying, which could well happen in the MMI, if there's a box of tissues on the table, have a look, slide it over to them. That's a really good, you know, Easter egg sort of mark that you can pick up on. Now what you want to do is you want to offer them an alternative. So similar to the football captain, you know, scenario that we were doing, offer an alternative, offer a solution. Ask them, what can we do now to help you? Is there anything that we can provide to you to compensate for this? Try and negotiate a compensation in some capacity. If it's a product that they're concerned with, offer them another product, or see if they'd like to come and have another look in the shop, or see if they want to return. Is that all they need? And try and negotiate some sort of, basic compensation for the customer. That's really all you need to do in this scenario. Nothing too complicated. Apologize, listen to the story, and then offer an alternative. Those are the 3 things that I would do. And as you can see on the screen, that's sort of a mock summary of the answer, and that's sort of the line that I would go down. Cool, let's get into question 3, the final question. You are a part-time tutor tasked with delivering difficult feedback to a student who is not performing well academically. How do you approach this conversation while ensuring the student's motivation and self-esteem are maintained? So when giving feedback, you always need to remember that you shouldn't ever really sort of talk negatively about the person. You don't want them to come out of this exchange feeling worse than they were when they came in. That is not feedback, that's just being mean. So there's this thing called the feedback sandwich that I use in sort of these situations, which is where you start off by giving positive feedback to the person, go to a little bit of negative feedback, and you phrase it better as constructive criticism, and then finish off with a bit of positive feedback as well. So in these scenarios, you'd start off by saying how well they've done so far, the fact that they've maybe just turned up to these sessions. Once you've done this bit, and this shouldn't take that long, move on to constructive criticism. So then highlight that there are certain parts of the curriculum that maybe they might need to spend a bit more time on, or maybe that just aren't up to scratch, or just aren't working out as well as the other parts are. So phrase it in a good way, as you can see. And then you want to move on to the most important part, which is offering a solution. And you can see throughout all these scenarios that we've been doing, offering a solution / alternative / some sort of a negotiation is the most important part. You want to find out how you can help them. So asking them what's been going on, why they struggle with this part particularly, whether they're putting enough time into it, and then offering your services. So offering yourself as a source of help, going through maybe some sort of an alternative, whether it is maybe doing some sessions dedicated to this part of the curriculum, or whether it is finding some sort of time management schedule, or maybe whether it's just going through this in more detail and slowing down on this part. Whatever it is, finding some sort of way to help the student in this part of the curriculum is the most important thing you can do. So you start off with that little positive bit at the beginning, then going into the constructive criticism, so highlighting the issue that you have to talk about in this exchange, and then finishing off by understanding their concerns, why they've maybe struggled with this, and coming up with an alternative. And that is the structure that you should go through whenever you're trying to basically talk through something that's happened. Whenever you're talking through something that someone's not done so well. This is sort of on the screen is a basic summary of how I'd go through it. So you can keep this and apply this to all your future answers, because I think it's a good way of going through it in about 5 minutes or so. Cool, so that covers about the 3 scenarios that I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you found the video useful and you can maybe come back to this in your later revision. If you've got any videos ideas for future uploads, let me know in the comments down below, and subscribe. Like, share, do whatever you're doing. You can DM me on Instagram any time of the day that you want. I'm happy to get back to you on your personal inquiries or concerns, or if you've got any questions about MMIs or anything really to do with med school, I'm happy to answer any questions, medical or not. Aside from that, I will see you all in the next video. See you in a bit.